Hello and welcome to today's webinar, User Testing in the Age of AI. We're still waiting for a few people, I guess. So yeah, first of all, thank you all for taking part in our today's webinar. Yeah, already many people here on stage. This is really cool, and more coming in. So yeah, great to see you there. And first message in the chat. Hi, Dominic. Good to see you too. Feel free, everyone, if you want to tell us in the chat where you're located, to get an idea where are you, and yeah, if you want, feel free to do so. And yeah, so today we have the webinar, as you know, User Testing in the Age of AI. Hey Sonia, Sonika, hey Aaron from India. Tina is typing from Germany. Hello to Germany. Chicago, so I see South America, nice, all over the world. Yeah, Stefan is in Austria and I'm on the Canary Islands, so all over the world. And yes. Cool. So today, yeah, we have a webinar about user testing in the age of AI. And yeah, so first of all, we want to talk a little bit about why AI in user testing, and why is it helpful? You might have some questions about it. And after that, we will have like a short live demo about our new AI Insights feature to show you exactly what you can do with it. And after that, we will have a little live question and answer session. So already right now, if you want, right now not, but once we started, feel free to drop any questions in the question sections below, and we will answer them, all of them, live in the end of the webinar. Cool, I think we will start now with our webinar and our slides. So first of all, a little bit about me. I'm Paula. I'm working at Userbrain. I started about half a year ago working here. I started working in support and then switched to marketing, and I'm now a product marketing specialist here at Userbrain. And for us, it's really important, as we do like to offer fast and easy and affordable user testing, that we also communicate it like this, that everyone knows how you can do it. It's easy to use. It's not like a lot of super fancy words, but more like understandable. Our product should be understandable for everyone. And yeah, and together with Stefan Rössler, yeah, we will hold this webinar today. And now Stefan will start it a little bit.
Yeah, hi everyone. Thank you, Paula, for a great introduction. I haven't started the slideshow yet, because once I click on play here, I won't be able to see anything of what's happening in this whatever the tool's called again. So, and I just wanted to mention that, because once I start talking, I can kind of like talk myself into a rage. And so if you have a comment or something you want to add during the webinar, just put it in the message, and Paula will then interrupt me and just let me know that someone has something that we should address right now. Other than that, I will just be in the slideshow, have it on play, have it full screen, and don't see anything that's happening around here. And yeah, so that's just something I wanted to mention before we start. And then I just click on play, and we can take it from here. So thank you again, Paula, for the introduction. It's really, really nice having someone to, kind of introduce everyone and make everyone feel welcome. I hope you all have a good time, and yeah, share the next 45 or 60 minutes or so with us, as we can talk a little bit about user testing in this specific webinar about AI and user testing and our experience with it. A little bit of background about myself is I realized this a couple of months ago when I did some research about myself, actually, to write a biography for something that I did my first user test back in 2006. And that's pretty much 18 years ago now, which is a bit mind-blowing. But anyway, back then it felt like, well, that's really useful and effective method. I'm wondering why so you know, not a lot of people really know about it. And since then, a lot of things have happened. A lot of experience gathered in this field also, and together with a few colleagues from university, with Andy, Marcus, and Matthias, started a UI UX agency, usability agency, a while ago, and we're working a lot with clients and customers, and learned a lot about, you know, how to really use user testing, usability testing, and all those sorts of things in real life projects. And almost 10 years ago now, we started our first version of Userbrain, which is, as Paula already said, really the big focus there is to make user testing as accessible and as easy as possible to everyone. Because again, it was just mind-blowing 18 years ago, encountering this method and just seeing how powerful it is and how effective it is in producing really good and useful products that people actually, you know, love using at the end of the day. So that's really our mission. We wanted to dedicate ourselves to bring this to the people and to just make it as easy as possible for them to use. So anyway, that's a bit of a background, just so you know who's talking most of today, I guess. So the three things we're going to cover today, as Paula already mentioned, is first is a little bit of why AI, or you know, about AI and user testing in general, our take on it. And then we're going to look at the way how we have implemented it into Userbrain so far, our first steps into this new paradigm, in a way. And then after that, we're going to have an interactive Q&A. So, and as I've already seen earlier, there's a lot of people today in the webinar, and I guess people have some questions. So I try to keep the first few parts brief and not get too much into detail, and so we can discuss everything afterwards. The first thing I have to start with, when we go into why AI is really really good at helping you save time and effort. It's incredible. So with all the downsides AI might bring with it, which, you know, or let's say weaknesses it has that we might address a little bit later, the one big advantage is it's incredible how much time you can save and how much work you can save yourself. We'll look into it in a couple of minutes how exactly that's done. But basically what we realized is, so again, we were working as a consulting business, and we're doing a lot of usability tests for clients and customers. And to put together a good report, we did not just need to set up the tests and look at all the videos, analyze all the test videos, trying to find some patterns and recurring themes, writing all of it down, putting it all together. And it was an incredible amount of work, and not always like the most sophisticated kind of work. So it's not difficult work in that sense, but it was just really painstakingly, long-winded, and it took forever. And AI is really good at this. And what we really what it all boiled down to for us was basically work that used to take us days, sometimes even weeks, can suddenly be done instantly. And I'm saying instantly because it's not even that it's faster or anything. It's like AI is pretty much instant at finding uncovering those, you know, important things that we want to share with our clients or with our team, or now with Userbrain specifically with our customers, so that they can see what's going on. So that is like the number one benefit, obviously, of AI, and why we even put AI into the product. Because I can just tell you from my personal experience, when I first heard about AI and that it's kind of whatever, I was more hesitant and thinking, I'm not even sure if we need that, you know. But it's just it makes the process so much more efficient, which turns out is the number one priority for our customers, that we just had to do something with it. The next thing is AI is really good at helping you overcome this blank page syndrome. And I don't know, so again, it's 18 years since I'm doing user testing, and I still struggle to write a good test script. And not maybe so much with, well, how to make it really good, but actually, how do I get started? It's so difficult to start on a blank page. That's why we have the templates and everything in Userbrain, obviously. to get you started a little bit, with more ease and get you in there quicker. But AI is really, really good at just getting you over this blank page syndrome and just put something there. It's usually not really good, but at least it's good enough for someone who knows what he or she is looking for to improve on and to make into a really good test script, test scenario, and tasks for user testing. So that's a big thing, and that's actually what we're working on at the moment. Maybe if someone's interested in that a little bit more, we can talk about it in the Q&A later, with things that we planned in the future with AI. But that's going to be a huge part on what we're working in the future in regards to how to put AI into Userbrain and how to really make user testing more efficient and actually through this more effective. Because what we witness is so many people would need to do user testing, but 95% of them don't even know how to do it. And so AI can really help to get those 95% into a position where they can actually get something going that's good enough to start, something that they can work with and then can still improve it from there. So that's the second thing. The third thing, and that's something we also heard from customers and was something that we thought ourselves would be really interesting, is so AI is not really good at analyzing your videos to a level of detail that an expert would, an expert who actually knows what's going on, who knows the background of the company and all the struggles. But AI is not really the perfect tool to do all of this and to replace someone there. But once there are some, let's say, transcripts or whatever, and there's some information, AI is really, really good at looking at all this mess and find trends and patterns there, and to just organize things in a sense that, in a way that makes so much sense to us humans. And that's the thing where AI is just instant. It just does it. And before that, you either do it yourself and it takes you hours, days, maybe weeks, or maybe you're lucky and you have someone helping you with this. Maybe you have an intern, who can do all these sorts of things. But it was really, really a lot of work, and maybe even more importantly, and it's not to underestimate, I guess, is the human error part when it comes to these kind of activities. Because humans are, we have our absolute positive sides, and we are creative, which AI is not. But we are not really good at, looking at a lot of data and avoiding mistakes, while as a computer is just, it was born to do that. It was literally made to do those sorts of things. So that's where AI is really good. And I'll show you in a minute, how we leverage that in Userbrain. Another reason for why we wanted to include AI and why we think AI is relevant in the field of user testing is really, it helps you focus on the things that matters most. So while AI might not be, or is certainly not the best at telling you, well, that's the most important thing, look at this, it can look at all this data, it can analyze it, it can put it into, these patterns and themes, and then you can skim over that and you can see, well, that's a part that really interests me, and AI helps you to, get rid of the rest and just focus in on this and know that all the data that is part of this theme or pattern or whatever is here, so you can really focus on what matters the most. That's something that would usually, require, again, a lot of work, a lot of dedication to get to a level of detail where you have things organized in a way that you can actually do that. I can, again, do it instantly, literally. And another good thing, I mentioned the word AI probably already 100 times, but fair enough. It's a webinar about AI, so I guess that's all right. But AI is really good at helping you to write in a clear and concise way, because that's actually what this AI, as we call it at the moment, is this language model. And it's not really, everyone who's worked with it a little bit knows that it's I don't even know how to say that. It's so stupid, it's not even funny, there's no intelligence there at all, I'd argue. But it's really good, again, at using language in a way that it actually portrays itself to be intelligent. And it's really just, well, it's really not. But what it is so good with language that it can actually help you getting your way of communicating, right? I know for myself, my way of communicating in a simpler and simpler and simpler language, almost like distill it to the point where all this, this knot that you see there, is just completely straightened out and you can get your ideas across. So that's something where we think AI has a huge benefit also when it comes to the field of user testing, where it can really help you formulate your findings in a way that people instantly get, that's what this is about. So those are 5 things that AI is really good at. And in summary, what I really want to say is AI is really good at helping you. As you saw, all those 5 things, they were all about, it helps you with finding patterns, it helps you with your writing, it helps you with this and that, and it helps you to save time. And that's really what it is good at in our estimation. It's really good at helping you. So that's the way how we think about AI. And I guess many people are thinking about it this way. So it's not that exclusive. You might think about it the same way. Really, AI is an assistant, not a replacement, not something that gets you out of the picture, but something that helps you get to your results in a quicker and more satisfactory way. And yeah, and it's a pretty damn good assistant, I'd say. So, okay, so that's a bit about AI in general and why we think it is relevant for user testing, why we wanted to invest our time in actually working with it and try to implement it into Userbrain. The next part, I'm going to quickly show you how, in general, we've incorporated it into our platform until now. So you get a bit of an understanding of what we're doing at the moment. So the first thing is, when you create a test in Userbrain, when you set up a new study, you have different sorts of types that you can use, different sorts of tasks and rating scales and questions and all of these sorts of things. This is how you basically will structure your test. Again, that's something that at the moment we have some templates that will help you with this, or you can do it yourself. In the future, we want actually AI also to help you with this, again, to solve this blank page syndrome. But apart from that, so that's something that kept happening in the future. What is already happening right now is that our AI system will look at the tasks you have in there, and if a user, for example, rates something as very difficult, it can take that into consideration and work with this information. Another thing that the AI obviously is really good at is at analyzing transcripts. In this case, it's not just a regular transcript, but it's already an AI-assisted transcript, which means that the sentences actually make sense, and the AI is really good, from our experience, at working out what people are saying. Sometimes the audio quality might not be perfect in a video. Sometimes I'm listening to a test and I'm really trying to understand what the person is saying there, and it's so hard to kind of understand what they're saying. Then you look at the transcript that the AI has created and you feel like, oh my God, it understood this person perfectly. It has, it's really good at understanding the dialects and all those sorts of things, at least the one that we're using. And I'm not a technical expert, by any stretch of the imagination. So all I can see is the results that are coming out, and they're quite astonishing. So the transcript is something that the AI will obviously really have get a lot of value out of it at analyzing this, which is perfect for user testing, because if you think about it, user testing is all about this thinking aloud method. So user testing is not just observing people doing something, how they would normally do it, which is they just do it in silence, but it's actually about people verbalizing their thoughts, thinking out loud while they're trying to do these different tasks and answering these questions that I just showed you in a step earlier. And so all this language is there, and the AI can just analyze it and look at it. The third thing that happens then is, based on these tasks and the answers that people were giving and based on the transcript, the AI can start making annotations for these videos, and it can give you a bit of a timestamp. So where is something happening? It can describe this issue, and it even tags it as a usability issue, or maybe sometimes, as you see here, suggestion or positive feedback or whatever it is. And the way we've implemented it is very much inspired by how we were working with our clients and customers, and how actually, I guess, all experts in the field of user testing are really working, which is heavily relying on direct quotes from people in the test. So the way we're doing it is we're trying to write something like here. You can see Denise expressed confusion when she was unable to type in her response, saying, "What's going on? Why can't I type this?" So this is basically how we're trying to write these single observations. They should be coherent and meaningful, stand by themselves, and also include a direct quote, so you can look at it and can actually gauge like, well, that's what the user was experiencing here. So sometimes even without watching what's happening, without watching the clip yourself, you can kind of pretty well work out what's going on there. So that's the third part. And then based on these analysis of the tasks and the transcript, these timestamped annotations done for all the different tests you have. If, let's say, you do a regular user test where you have 5 people, or let's say 8 people, and then all of these 8 tests will be annotated by the AI. It will be sorted by different types, like usability issue, positive feedback, whatever. And then what happens is you can see an overview of like, those are the usability issues in this tests, and then you can see the things here, like problems with website navigation and search functionality. 4 people had this issue, or difficulty loading specific car features or models. 3 people had this issue, and so on and so on and so on. I'll show you this in a second in the actual tool, but it's just basically what happens. So again, first, just everything gets time-based annotations, and then the AI looks at all those things and tries to find the patterns and themes and actually puts them together, so you can see it in a meaningful way, actually in a way as we, as a usability agency, as we were working for the longest time, is how we would present it to a client, because that makes the most sense to have it like this. And then once you click on one of those issues, you can see the individual testers, you can see the actual node, and then from here on, you can click on it and you can watch the highlight clip that actually shows exactly what's going on in this scene. Okay, that's pretty much how the whole thing is working. And I'm going to show you quickly how it looks in Userbrain, inside Userbrain, how we have implemented it so far. So I'm aware that some of you will already have a Userbrain account. Maybe most of you, I don't know, don't have one yet. So whatever it is, this is basically what a test looks like in Userbrain. So as you can see up there in the left-hand corner, there's a dashboard, and inside this dashboard, you're in this test now that I created for this webinar of coolstays.com. And AI Insights is actually our first tab here. And as you can see, the first thing you can see there is a short summary, like what is this test even about? That's based on some customer feedback that we got over the years and things that we also experienced ourselves. Sometimes the test name, like in this case, webinar coolstays.com, doesn't really tell the whole story. So you want to have a short introduction, which is based on the AI just analyzing all the tasks and telling you, well, this test involved finding and comparing unique accommodations for a special anniversary getaway, blah, 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 blah. So that's already the first step, how AI can help you identifying the right test for everyone in your team, looking at it immediately, knowing what's this all about. Again, that would be a sentence, something that you would say at the beginning of your presentation if you showed this to a client. Then as we go down this page, you will see at first there's some positive feedback. So all the things the AI has found and gave a hashtag to with positive feedback are here. And it's already grouped by theme, by pattern. Like the first one here, high ratings for the overall experience and likelihood of recommending the website. So you can see there's 2 plus, so there's 2 testers, A and B, and plus 2. So there's 4 people who highly recommended it. Then there's 4 people who found the navigation was really easy, and so on and so forth. Again, it's like that's something we learned over the years, and everyone who does presentations, whether it's internally or with clients, will notice you always want to start with some positive feedback. So you don't want to drop the bomb immediately and tell people what's wrong with their product. And I don't know, Marcus, one of our co-founders, he likes referring to this, like, imagine it's like telling someone their child is ugly. So most people don't want to hear this. So first it's like, well, your child is actually pretty good at drawing. I don't know. So you start with some positive feedback, and that's what we're doing here. Then as you move on further down the page, you can see the usability issues. Like here, you can see there's one that 4 people have experienced. So there's difficulty finding accommodation within a 200-mile radius of New York City. So again, it was a test of this platform where you could find, it's similar to booking.com or to Airbnb. And that was an issue that people were having there. And I'm mentioning this here now because the thing with AI is really not good at figuring out whether something is a big problem or a small problem. For AI, if it analyzes the transcript, it knows that it's a problem. People had an issue there, but it can't know whether it's a big problem or not because it doesn't know your company. So you will look at this if it's your website, and you will see, well, that's not a big issue. That's something, that's not important for us. or you will look at it and say, well, that's actually a huge issue. The way we are helping you is by showing you, well, how many people had this issue? How many people found this confusing, whatever it is. This is usually a very good measure, a very good indicator of showing, well, that seems to be an important problem. Maybe you want to have a look at it. Because very often we also experience where people are saying, you know, I can't do user testing because our website is so broken, or our product is so bad. There's so many things to fix. I don't need to discover more problems. And then the counter argument that we're bringing is, well, do some user testing. And what it will do for you is will tell you, well, that's the biggest problem you're having. Like 4 people out of whatever it was here in this test, 4 or 5 people had this issue. So that's a real problem. So if you want to start working on improving your website, fix this problem first. So it helps you with prioritizing. And again, the most important thing here is the AI does all the heavy lifting for you in the sense of it organizes the information. It gives it to you in a very hopefully understandable way that you find useful. Then you can look at it and you can further dive into it. Okay, I just moved down the page very quickly. What we also have is user confusion, because sometimes something's not necessarily a usability issue, but people are confused about it, and you can hear this in their I'm not sure, whatever they're saying in the transcript, and the AI picks up on that and says, well, it's confusion about the search results despite entering basic information, whatever the finding is. So we move further. There might be some unexpected interaction happening, like there was someone redirected to booking.com, didn't know why that happened. Then there will be some negative feedback. Again, you can see how many people said it. And then further down the page, there's some user behavior, which is basically all the information that people were sharing about how they would usually search for something like this. So anything that's not necessarily related to the website or app or prototype that's being tested, but something about the user, about their likes and dislikes. So that's all in this bracket. And then you can see like 5 people are frequently using similar websites like this, for example. And then as the final thing, there's some suggestions where people had some ideas for how you might improve this website. So that's basically this page. And to get a bit of an overview, and now I'm going to show you, dive in even deeper so you can actually see how this works. So we're looking at this page again, and of this cool stays test, and there were these usability issues, and we're interested in the first one because 4 people experienced this issue. It sounds like that's really a problem, you know. And keep in mind, I haven't watched any of the videos until this point in time. All I did is I looked there, I see there's a usability issue, 4 people had this, so this is supposedly a big issue. I can click on it, it expands, and I can see, okay, there's a reefer and she expressed difficulty in finding locations with specified radius. Again, there's some direct quote in it, so that's how you can really get a feeling for what's going on. Then you can see the timestamp of when it's happening, and you see this AI tag indicating that this is actually a node that was discovered by AI. I'm mentioning this because you will see in a couple of minutes when I show you a different test that the AI cannot just find themes and patterns across its own nodes. It can also take your own observations or your team's observations into account. And all the notes and clips or whatever your team was making can also be added to this. And the AI will know, okay, so this is part of this problem, so I put it into this bracket, or this is positive feedback, so I put it there. Again, in this case, I haven't watched any of the videos. All of this is done by the AI. And that's what I meant when I said earlier, it's just incredible how much time it saves, because this would have costed me a few days at least to analyze all of this. And in this case, it was a test that I started running yesterday night because I wanted to have some data for today for the webinar. But anyway, let's see the second part, for example. Once we hover over it, we can see this play icon and can then click on it. It will open the video in the video view where you have highlighted the node that we just clicked on. So you can see that, and you can see it in the context of the rest of the video. So from there on, you can actually dive into analyzing what is really happening. So the idea is still, we want people, we want your team, we want you, we want everyone to actually watch humans testing your website or experiencing your website, because that is what's so precious and so important for your team to develop some actual empathy to really understand what's going on. And this is how we achieve it. So we show you what's most important, then you can pick it, that's like really interesting for you. You click on it, and that's how you get soaked into the video. And from here on in, you can watch. And the same is true, for example, I don't know if there's a problem or something, just describing the problems with words is sometimes something that people would just forget. It doesn't really have a huge impact, and everyone who knows about usability testing knows this, obviously, but for everyone else, I'm mentioning it. It's the power of seeing it. Seeing is believing in user testing, and that's, you know, how you achieve this. So from here on, you can just watch the video. Okay, so I move on to the final slides before we go into Q&A. And that's just, let's imagine you, after this webinar, are so excited about Userbrain that you actually say, you know what, I'm gonna start a free trial now. Of course, if you already have an account, then, you know, that's great. You already know what I'm telling you. And if you haven't, like, that would be the first thing you see when you go in. There's this example test, and I'm showing it to you because that's in every account. And this test is showing a different facet of AI that I've mentioned to a little bit earlier, but I haven't shown you yet. So that's it. So we go into this example test. The example test is actually a user test of userbrain.com, so of our own marketing website. Again, here you see a little bit of a summary of what we were testing there. And then if you scroll further down the page, you will see the usability issues. And there's actually, so there are 5 testers, and 5 testers had the same usability issue. So that's a huge problem, which is that leading screening questions make it easy for participants to guess the correct answer and cheat their way into tests. Okay, I'm not going to unpack this right now, but if we click on this, again, you can see the individual observations that lead to this pattern, that lead to this finding, and you can see there's no AI tag here now. The reason there's no AI tag is because those are observations that I have added manually. Those are things that the AI didn't notice, because from a tester's point of view in the situation, everything went all right, because they were asked to, you know, add a screening question well, just go a little bit further back. The part of the test was people needed to set up an account with Userbrain and create their first user test, which is something you hopefully do after the webinar. But anyway, so they were asked to do this. And for doing this, the scenario said something like, well, imagine you want to test with small business owners only. And then they went in and they added the screening question saying, well, are you a small business owner, yes or no? And most people thought, well, that's all right, that's fine. But actually, that's an issue because it's a leading screening question. So everyone would know in our testing pool, well, I just click on yes, and then I get the test. So you might get some people who cheat their way into the test. So you really want to do a more sophisticated screener than this. But anyway, the AI wasn't able to pick up on this, obviously, because it doesn't have all this background knowledge. But we do, I do, our team does. And I'm just using this example, and I hope it wasn't unnecessarily confusing, because everything I'm trying to tell you is you can add your own notes and observations in there, and the AI will also take them into account and put them in this AI Insights tab. So again, this is a problem the AI didn't find at all. I found it manually with these 5 quotes, and then the AI created it here as a usability issue. And this way, you can actually work together with the AI and really leverage it as an assistant. The AI will analyze the test, it will analyze the transcript, it will find all the most obvious problems, you know, that people had. But it's still, you know, and that might get you to 80% of all the way, you know, and it might be all right, you know, even for some projects. When you're really tight on time, all you do is just click, click, click. You get a few testers, you order them, the AI will analyze everything, and you're just done. And you can send this to people and they have a perfect presentation. That's awesome. But if you really want to dig deeper, you can just watch the videos yourselves, which is what we recommend, and you can apply your own expertise and knowledge to analyze these videos and tests, and you can add your own notes, and by using these hashtags, making them part of this analysis too. And yeah, that's really what I wanted to tell you there. So you can automate it 100%, but you can also jump in, correct even what the AI did, like the AI maybe made the note where you disagree, you change it, and then those changes will be reflected on this page too. And then just to finish up with, on the same page, when you go back up where there was the summary, there's 2 different tabs. One is the test overview, because that's something people always like to see in their tests. And it's something nice for presentation, or if you share it with your team, just to see a little bit of graphical distribution of who the testers were, their age, their country, and so on and so forth. And then there's a final tab called key metrics, where you can see, well, how many tasks were in there, how long did it take testers to complete the test, when were the tests performed, and what was the actual task success rate. So give you another layer of information about your tests. Okay, so that took us about 30 minutes now, 35 minutes. And I'm going to go to the next slide now, which is the poll. And Paula will introduce that to you, and then you can all answer this poll via the whatever. Again, I forgot the name of the program we're using to do this webinar. But you can answer it there, and then from there on we move on to the Q&A. All right. So Paula, over to you.
Thank you very much, Stefan, for this not only overview, but like talking a lot about it and showing us how Userbrain is working with AI. What I really did like is when you said that AI is not there to replace you; it's your assistant. I think this is really important to see, that you can really leverage it and save time, but it still needs, like us, it needs you, the UX researcher, the designer, to make a product like perfect for your users, because you know your users and AI doesn't, but it can definitely help you a lot. Okay, so if you go down in the menu, there is a poll, and I would like you to rate. How do you rate AI insights? So feel free to give your rating from 5 to I absolutely need AI insights myself. 4, I don't need AI insights, but I use them. 3, AI insights are a good idea, but not right for me. 2, I don't like AI insights. Or 1, AI insights make things worse for me. I hope you can see the poll all. In case some case you can't vote, but shouldn't be the case, feel also free to just drop the number in our chat. And yeah, so I'm happy for your vote. And yeah, we just got a message in the chat from Norida. Thank you very much. Before, I already sent the link for free trial, so I will give you all the link again in case you didn't try it yet. Okay. And yeah, if there are any more questions, now would be the time. So please feel free to put any questions you have in the questions tab down there. We're looking forward to them. And yeah, Stefan for sure can answer all of them. Yeah.
At least I can talk quite a lot about them when I get a good answer. When you get a good answer out of me, let's see. But do you know? Can we see the results of the poll anywhere, or if people have? Do you see them?
I don't see anything yet.
Okay, because I can see it here either, but I saw in the chat, and that's just something I want to pick up on quickly because it's really a nice comment by Norida, saying the product really looked like it was built by a bunch of UX designers, very thought through, and I can't wait to try it. And I just wanted to address that quickly. I don't know. What I want to say is we are really a bunch of nerds in a sense that we didn't set out to, build a startup years ago, or I don't know, in my case, I never wanted to be a co-founder of something or whatever, but I'm just really, 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 really interested in on one hand, helping, improving people's lives, do something that helps. And on the other hand, being such a nerd about products, and technology also in a way. And you should see our conversations that we're having, then you will really see the way our company is working. It's really, really focused on how can we build a really good product, almost in a sense of, well, the rest will take care of itself kind of thing. The business aspect will kind of work itself out. And I'm a bit exaggerating here because I've also seen that Marcus is one of our co-founders is here in the webinar too. Like, he is really good business mind also. So if it wasn't for him, we wouldn't be a company. It wouldn't probably just be a bunch of people offering some kind of service somewhere. But also he, is really, really into this whole UX world and into this thing, and that's something we're really excited about. So yeah, anyway, I just wanted to mention that quickly and just see if someone if someone has a question in the meanwhile, and then we can talk about this. And I'm just trying to, not get too carried away, because as you probably saw in the last half an hour, if I start talking, I just don't stop anymore. So I might stop for a couple of minutes now, and we'll just see if there's a question coming in.
There is actually one question in the chat. Stefan, how it is useful while testing chatbot UI?
Yeah, okay. I'm trying to unpack that question, or unpack in the sense of so that I know what it means. I tell you what I'm understanding. What I'm understanding is you have a chatbot on your website, and you want to use Userbrain to test whether the chatbot is working or not. That's how I'm understanding this question. And if that's the case, I think what you would do is really create a test in Userbrain, make an example test and write a scenario. It depends on what your website is about, where you put in, well, imagine you're searching for a product, or again, whatever your website is about, something that will get our testers to engage with your chatbot, trying to work with it. So testers will then use the chatbot, interact with it, and you get the screen recordings, and audio recordings of people doing all of this, and the AI will then analyze how people are experiencing this and show you what worked well, what didn't work well. This is a very, very generalized answer now. Maybe a more detailed one was I was using a chatbot recently on a website because I was ordering a new internet here in Austria, and we have this company. I'm not going to mention the name of the company. Anyway, it's a big company that has the best internet connection, so you always want to go for them because they have the good connection. And their chatbot was so bad, it was so terrible, And I was just thinking, well, if only that was a Userbrain test right now, and we could send it to those people so they would actually see my frustration with this chatbot now, they would really learn so much about how to improve it. And yeah. Anyway, not sure if I'm answering your question or if I understood it correctly. I hope that was good enough.
Thank you, Stefan, and thank you, Kate, for your comment. You said nice. No, it's gonna be. Is it nice, considered way for bringing AI into the process in a meaningful way? Thanks for the demo. You're welcome. Thank you all for being here. And there are more questions. Tina is asking, as a team of one, I find this AI assistant very helpful. Have you ever felt the need to export findings, for example, to put them into a presentation, or did you just present it showing the app?
That's a great question. Back in the day when we were still doing these sorts of analysis for clients, and Userbrain was merely our tool to do it, and it wasn't what it is today, we would download everything, obviously, put it into Keynote, and spend a lot of time on making a good presentation. And that's how we did it, downloading the videos and clips and everything. And the idea behind Userbrain, or how we decided or settled on the design for Userbrain, was really, wouldn't it be awesome if all you needed to do is just click this share screen button? You can just share this here, and it looks presentation ready, and you don't even have to put it into Keynote or anything. So that's what we're trying to aim for, something that's so streamlined and focused on this process of getting this information to the right people, that you don't even need to export it anymore and put it into a presentation. But at the same time, what you can obviously do is you can download all the clips, you can download all the videos, and you can export everything, the transcripts, everything, your notes, and you can put that into your Keynote presentation too. There's no real very sophisticated solution to do that yet, in a sense of, well, you click a button and it, exports automatically in Keynote file or whatever, so that's everything. But it's more so, again, the vision is you just share your screen in an online meeting these days, probably, of Userbrain, you show the results there. But if you want to go with your customized presentation, you can download everything and put it in your own tool of choice. Yes.
Okay, thank you so much, Stefan. There's another question from Harry. can the AI be turned off? I'm using Userbrain in a unique way. I'm not using Think Aloud.
Then you're really using it in a unique way if you're not using Think Aloud. So I'd be interested to see how you're using it. I mean, with our enterprise options, we can customize pretty much everything. But we had a conversation a while ago talking about Userbrain and everything, and thought that AI is so integral to the product that we didn't even want to turn it off at the moment. But the thing is, if you don't have Thinking Aloud, this AI Insights tab will just be relatively empty, actually. And even if there's some information in based on the tasks or whatever, you can just ignore it. You don't need to be on this page, and there won't be any notes or anything created. So if there's no Thinking Aloud, there won't be a lot of information from our AI. So yeah. I'd be interested in how you're using this, how you're using Userbrain. So, but anyway. It's interesting. I always thought like the Thinking Aloud is the most integral part of the product, but that's the exciting thing when you build a product and you put it out there in the world for everyone to be able to use, and then see the unique use cases that people come up with. So anyway, maybe Harry, if you have a minute, you could. I'm collecting ratings. I'll talk to my rep. Okay, yeah. Maybe if you reach out to us and talk to Joel or someone in our team, you will see they're all very knowledgeable about not only the method and the tool, but also use cases from customers who will for sure be able to help you and work something out.
Cool. Thank you, Stefan. Next question from Sonika. Can dummy fake robot users be created based on the user persona who can test UI?
If I understand the question correctly, then the answer is no. The idea of Userbrain is like, and that's like a very basic part of or premise of the whole product is, sorry, it's really about real people interacting with your products. So what you can do is you can screen for people who fit your persona. Sorry, I just need to. Sorry, so people who fit your persona, and then get them to test your site. But we've deliberately decided not to go down that road of using AI to create these artificial users, or whatever the correct term these days is. But what I'm actually doing sometimes is I just go into our into a company account that we have for the ChatGPT, and just play around with it, sometimes showing it screenshots from prototypes, and tell it, well, imagine you are, and then I give a bit of a persona description, and I'll look at this, and basically I'm almost like doing a moderated usability test with an AI. And so in my mind, it was like, well, if you really want to do what you're describing there, again, if I understand it correctly, you would use a different tool to do that, or actually use an AI to, just go with it, like through it like this. But in Userbrain, it's a deliberate decision that it's all about real humans, and that's the idea. So even moving forward, if people will use AI more and more and more, and like, for example, I don't know any numbers, but I guess far less people will now use Google search and already have replaced it with ChatGPT, for example. So people's behavior will change, but at the end of the day, it's still humans interacting with technology. And what Userbrain is really all about delivering is this human aspect about living in the digital world. Yeah. So no robots or fake dummy users.
Thank you, Stefan. Next question. Let's see. The product is useful for desktop app or not?
Yes. So the way it's working is, most often people will obviously test a website or something that can be viewed within a browser, but our testers have this recorder installed in their computer, which can actually record any screen. So, for example, Spotify was testing their onboarding of their product years ago, actually, when they started doing it, to see if people can install the Spotify app correctly and put together a playlist, whatever it was. And that was all achieved with our Userbrain app. So it doesn't have to be in the browser. You can test anything that happens on the computer, and yeah, desktop software as well.
Thank you so much. The next question is from Nurida. I wonder if the AI could also help translate the insights into some sort of empathy map findings analysis.
I mean, it could certainly help with that. It doesn't at the moment. So what AI in our case, and we consider this like a very early version of what's going to happen with AI probably. But what it really does at the moment is pretty much what I showed you today. So it looks at the tasks, it looks at the transcripts, it makes annotated notes, it puts categories to that, and then it shows you these insights and shows you how many people had certain issues or findings or whatever, and nothing beyond that. Yeah, so it's really hard to answer. The only answer I can give you for this now, well, it's not happening at the moment, but it could certainly help you do these sorts of things. I mean, we need to look at exactly what you're trying to do, like what is this empathy map you're talking about? How would you want to analyze your findings, and then probably, find a way to maybe export the data and put it into another tool and work with this. But yeah, again, it's not something that's happening in the tool at the moment, but those would be interesting topics for us to kind of explore more and see what's really useful. Because the thing with AI is like, I don't want to say limitless, because it's certainly not limitless what it can do, but it can do so many things that it will appear, it is absolutely overwhelming what you can do. Our goal with Userbrain is really like to streamline it as much as possible. It has to be as simple as it can, as simple as a toothbrush. We don't want to make it more complicated. Everyone knows how to brush their teeth, so that's how we want user testing to be applied, because that's how it's the most effective. And all those sophisticated things, which are very worthwhile, like empathy maps and so on, are not really something we're considering too much for the product. But again, here it would be interesting to see your use case or what you have in mind, and then explore this further. So maybe also you can reach out to someone in our team, and then we can talk about this a little bit and see what you're trying to do there, and then work out maybe not work out a solution, but at least think about what might be possible there.
Thank you, Stefan. Yes, in general, if you have any further questions or some more questions are coming up, like tomorrow, tonight, whenever, just drop us a message at support@userbrain.com, and we are happy to help you even once the webinar ended. But we're not done with the questions yet. So Manuel is asking, would it work with Austrian accents?
As far as I've seen it until now, it actually works. So I am from Austria, and I have I wouldn't say a terrible accent, but I have a bit of an accent. And what I've seen so far from the tests, and I've not really stress tested it or anything, so I don't want to promise you that, yeah, it works perfectly with Austrian accents. But what I've seen is it works much better than you would expect, or at least much better than I would have expected. Yeah, it's something that we need to try. Yeah. Okay. So I don't know. That's not a very good answer, but I haven't really tested it properly to say for sure. But all I can say is, like, it always kind of blows me away how well it works. But obviously, I'm doing a lot of testing in English, so my mind might be a bit biased here by the good English results we had. Yeah, not sure about area like Vorarlberg. Yeah, that's the problem. I don't even know if anyone understands people in Vorarlberg. So, but they understand each other. So there must be some method there. Yeah, I think that would be something that needs to be tested. So ideally, if you just create a new account with Userbrain, for example, you go in there, and you will get 2 testers for free, and then you can choose, to test with German speakers, and then either select Austria from a list, or maybe, create a screener that allows you to screen for people from Vorarlberg or something like this, and then we'll find out. It would be interesting to see. Yeah. So, I don't know.
Yeah, it would be definitely very interesting. We should try something like that with different accents one day. There's another question from Sophie. Which LLM are you using? What about data security?
Okay, so the first part of the question is a bit difficult for me to answer because I'm such a nerd when it comes to user experience and usability testing. It's not funny, but when it comes to technology, I'm so not knowledgeable, and I'm really not the right person to answer this question. I'd be afraid that I tell you something that then turns out to be incorrect or wrong. So maybe if you could come back with this later, maybe send an email or something, and then we can let this past our technical team, and they can work out a good answer to this. I think that would be the best way to move forward with that. And with data security, what I can tell you is, because I know it from on our marketing website also, is that everything is GDPR compliant, and all the information you have there is not used to train any models or anything. So it is secure in that sense. So it's based on all the best practices that are employed. So that's what we're doing there. And the thing is, if you really, because some people might still be concerned about AI in general, so then there's obviously a way, that we can work out to just turn it off if that's a big concern of you. But yeah, so we're trying everything that we can within reason to make sure that the data is handled securely and with all the measures in place that are expected, I'd say. Sorry, I hope this answers your question sufficiently.
Okay, Stefan, thank you very much. I don't see any further questions now here in the chat. Okay, if you have any more questions, like I said before, I just posted our support email address in the chat. And so if you need to ask anything else, have some ideas, whatever comes in your mind, just contact us, support@userbrain.com. And yeah, we're happy to help you out there as well. And thank you all for being here with us in today's webinar. It was great to have you all here. And yeah, I see Harry is typing again. So maybe there's one more question coming. Let's see.
Yeah, while we're waiting, maybe.
Harry also does not have any more questions. Thank you all also for participating and asking so many questions. It's always nice for me also to listen how the questions are getting answered, to think how I would answer, to see how our product maestro Stefan is answering them. And yeah, if there are no further questions, I would say thank you so much. Yeah, drop us a message at support@userbrain.com if anything else is coming into your mind. Yeah, Stefan, do you want to add anything else?
Yeah, I just wanted to quickly say thank you again, for the wonderful introduction, Paula, and for leading us through the whole process. I personally, I get so lost in the details of what I'm talking about that I, forget I'm overwhelmed with the tool and whatever. So I felt like you really handled this perfectly, and I felt, that was all done in a really great way. And thank you everyone for your participation and for all your questions and everything. Again, if you feel like something wasn't answered properly, as Paula said, just send us a short message. We'll come back to you, and someone who's more knowledgeable than me will try to answer those things. And yeah, it was awesome talking to you. If you happen to either go into a Userbrain account and try the AI Insights, or if you create a new account and you try it out, you will see that there's a tool in there. There's something in that for you to give feedback. So if you wanted to really, try something, you're very, very welcome to give feedback. We'd love to hear from you, and even if it's just, well, that's not the way I wanted AI Insights to work or whatever. So it's not, as everyone here who is familiar with the whole process of UX and everything knows, we're not interested in positive feedback anyway. We're more interested in, learning how we can make things better. So yeah, just that's actually all I wanted to say. Thank you all very much for your participation. And if you have some ideas and feedback, please let us know.
Yeah, we do love constructive feedback. So,
Yeah.
and yeah, anyways, you will all get the recording afterwards. Yeah, so in case you want to rewatch it, watch us talking again, see us again, we will send you an email with the recording. So, yes, thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you all.
Okay, I think just let's wait 1 second. Someone is typing. And thanks, Mr. Start. Okay, yeah, don't worry. You will get the recording of the full webinar. Yes, then I would say have a great day, evening, everyone. Depends where you are. And hopefully see you on the next webinar.
Perfect.
Bye-bye.
See you soon. Bye-bye.